No.
What if there's only
Not
two
me.
turkey legs, and it's your favorite thing is a turkey leg, and Uncle Johnny came in and took one leg, and then went back, and then came back and took the other leg? Okay.
So what kind of person are you? Are you the kind of person where you're
I get in trouble all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. You know, my thing was I always felt like I was like, man, I'm part of the family, right? And then Rye's like, well, yeah, my mom got a big old house for the family, and I was like, I must have missed that email because
Go back home.
Let me ask you this: what is the worst food that you have for Thanksgiving dinner? What is the one food that when someone brings it, you're like, you got to be kidding? Dude, green bean casserole. But what's the difference in a sweet tater and a yam?
Size.
Well, hey, the best advice I can give you is choose who occupies space in your brain.
God, it's Friday.
One. He is Chad Christensen. I am Tron Smith, and this is Midwest Mayhem presented to you by Wilson Toyota in Ames, 2212 South Duff Avenue, just a short drive from anywhere in the metro. And I'm telling you, if you are in the market for a vehicle, so here's the thing. We always talk about purchasing vehicles, but I'm going to twist this thing.
Uh-oh.
If you're in the market to have your vehicle fixed, you know, if you've had an accident here in the near, future or something like that,
Here we
have
go.
a great Toyota certified collision center. We also have an unbelievable service department. So we service everything. We service, domestics. We service
We do.
Hondas, you name it. So again, Wilson Toyota sales, service, and collision center.
We are
2212.
a one-stop shop.
That wasn't in the address. 2212 South Dove Avenue, just a short drive from anywhere in the metro. We really appreciate Danny and Danny letting us come in and give us the content. And you are correct. We are a one-stop shop. We can actually do it all, man. So, hey, man, I want to get right into this thing. But before I get going, I just got to say this. I'm so used to having something in the middle of this podcast, like some kind of decoration
I know.
or something.
I
What
know.
happened?
It's at my desk.
Yeah, great. You have one job.
Yeah, there's a turkey at my desk.
It's because it's turkey time. I mean, we talked about turkey thigh. It's coming
No, his
up.
name is Brad. He's at my desk.
You jive turkey. No, we talk about Turkey Time, which is coming up. We're really excited about doing that with KZAT over in Marshalltown.
Yes.
And with KZAT, I just want to kind of talk about real quick a new employee that we have.
Yes.
Her name is Giovanna. She is new to Wilson Toyota, man, and I'm super excited. Bilingual. So if you're out there and you're somewhere and you need someone that speaks Spanish or and the other twist of that is sometimes females or women just want to work with women.
Agreed.
Giovanna is a female salesperson who has come onto our staff, and she's going to be awesome.
She's going to be a good fit.
Yeah. We're also going to be joined by Noah Henderson. I know I'm just throwing people's names out there like, right? Zinger, who we're excited about a new hire that's coming in as well. So it's kind of cool when we talk about the Wilson experience and who we are, we family. I think about guys like Noah. Noah is going to join our staff. His brother, Sam Henderson, is already part of our staff. So it kind of tells you who Wilson Toyota is. So when you see that we logo, when you see the W and the E, and we're talking about the Wilson experience, we're talking about the Wilson family, the work that we do in the community, and things like that. So again, another family member joining the family to be a family atmosphere, right?
Sure.
So this brings me into this. This thing has kind of been chewing me up here as I watch the industry kind of transform. I watched a commercial the other day. It said 0% financing out to 60 months. I bet you it's been 3.5, 4 years since we've seen that. So it's been a
True
long
statement.
time. I've seen a lease special that I saw a commercial for too, which it almost fell out of my seat when I saw that because you haven't seen that in a long time as well.
Right.
So it starts bringing me to the attention of, man, the industry by itself is changing
Quickly,
the
too.
consumer's mindset and the industry's mindset is changing, which brings me to this question. When is the last time, because let me see, your kids are what, 2 years apart?
Yeah, roughly.
When is at what point in you and your wife's, I thought I had a nosebleed, you and your wife's life, did you ever decide to take your two kids at 5 and 3, put them in the car, go to the car dealership, and just hang out with a salesperson? Did you guys ever do that?
No, and If I had to, it was out of need and not want.
So I just want to be clear. Every time that you ever had to be in the dealership, full family, it's like
Yeah.
it's like getting ready for Thanksgiving.
It is a nightmare. And the reason it is because you're here to try to accomplish something, but you have two other small children around you that you have to take care of, and they don't want to be here.
So you mean to tell me that, in perspective, when you think about it and you open your mind to this deal, if I get a husband, wife, and they have their kids in my dealership, they are 100% full out coming to accomplish something.
100% coming to accomplish something.
So here's my question.
Absolutely.
Here's my question to you. So why do so many of them leave your dealership without purchasing?
You saw the movie Tommy Boy, right?
You're this biscuit.
I know. It's the truth, though. People don't take the time to understand why the person's here. This is just my opinion again. If you don't take the time to a full family, they don't want to be here, especially the kids. The mom and dad don't want to have the whole family here. They're here out of a necessity, a need. They want to accomplish something. If you put that in your mindset that the first time they walk in the door, they're here to accomplish something, right?
Yeah.
You better get it accomplished, or what? They're going to be gone.
Well, first of all, I think you for the salespeople, first of all, I want you to think of this logically, right? That's why I led into this way. That's why I started this by asking you, have you ever?
We all have, I think.
I've never told my wife, hey, it's Saturday, me, you, and the three kids, we're going to jump in the car, and we're going to go hang out at a car dealership for a couple hours to not buy a car. We just want to see what it feels like, right? No one does that. So I want you to think of this thing logically first, man. When you get a customer and they show up, and you can tell that their situation is uncomfortable.
Right.
What do I mean by that? That means that it's husband, wife, and two kids. It's already uncomfortable.
Right.
Okay. We're here because we have to be. So as a salesperson, you got to be thinking to yourself, man, these people are here. I don't need to speed up the process. I just need to be efficient.
Right. Oh, I like that. I like that because the Tommy Boy reference is speeding up. Not listening, not paying attention to, you want to get to Z, but you missed everything in between to accomplish something.
Yeah, it's hard to sing that ABC song without saying all the words in the middle or the letters.
Correct.
You got to kind of say all the letters. And I think what happens with salespeople, and I'm not just talking about young salespeople, I'm talking about salespeople in general. You see that situation which is uncomfortable, and all of a sudden you start thinking to yourself, man, how do I get them from here to here quickly? We don't want to be quick. We want to be efficient. It's kind of the same thing, but different.
Yeah, I like that.
I want to make sure that when these customers come in, that first of all, I realize the situation. Okay. I have to occupy space. All right. I need to make sure that I'm accommodating husband, wife, and the kids.
And the
How
children.
do you do that?
Yeah.
First of all, you listen. Okay. You start thinking as a professional, man, I know that I have two kids. Whatever I do, I need to make sure that I include those kids. Man, number one downfall, gentlemen, ladies out there that sell, the first thing and the worst thing you can do is forget that there's two young children standing there. If you don't acknowledge those kids and understand that they are going to play a major part in the decision that needs to be made, then you absolutely missed it.
Whether they're 2 years old or they're 15, they play a part.
Well, 100%. And then as a professional, you need to think about growth. When you think about those two kids, okay, are the kids 2 and 5? Are they going to get taller? Is this a deal? You got to feel for mom or not? Does she hit you with the straight, I'm not driving a minivan thing?
Right.
Or do you have the ability to express to her how it's going to be easier for little Johnny and little Sarah to get in this minivan? Again, I want to be efficient. I don't want to be fast, right? I got to understand the situation that I'm in, and I got to go forward. It amazes me how many of these situations walk right out of your dealership.
You see it all the time, actually.
And what does a salesperson normally say when they leave?
Hey, thank you for coming in.
Oh, we didn't have what they wanted.
Yeah, and that's true too.
Oh, we didn't have what they wanted.
Yeah, we didn't have a single car, 200 plus cars, and we didn't have a single car that fit their needs or wants.
All right, sales manager, I want you to pay attention to what I'm going to say to you. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go back over the last 30 days, and I want you to look at your actual log of customers that you've dealt with, and I want you to go back to each and every family that showed up in your dealership, and then I'm going to encourage you to call them. You call them yourself and ask them about the experience that they had, and whether you sold them or you did not sell them, you should want to get a feel for how you either made the shot or missed the shot. Hey, Mr. Customer, I understand you were in my store and you did not purchase. Just curious, as a sales manager with a dealership that wants to be better, so we can better help people in the future. What was it about your experience that made it great? That made it not great? How can we get better? Hey, if you're a real sales manager and you actually want to be successful, I encourage you, go back 30 days, find all those family members. Let's just start there, the families that showed up, and give them a call and see how your dealership either earned their business or missed their business. What do you think? What do you think they're going to hear most of?
I'm going to say they're going to miss.
Right.
I'm going to say they're going to miss.
Well, no, I mean, what do you think most of the consumers are going to say that did not purchase?
That they didn't have a good experience with the whole situation. And what I say by that is, I don't even know how to go there, because it is going to be, I don't want to dig a big hole, but probably from the start when you said the acknowledgement, and then the fact of if the kids weren't juice box, whatever, right? Getting them involved, getting everyone to kind of take a deep breath and what are we here for? And then if they didn't listen and they were just like, I've got the perfect car for you.
Yep.
It shut it down before it even started.
Yeah, didn't even hear that little Sarah was she was allergic to cloth, so it's got to be leather, right? You missed that.
It's gone.
So now she's got hives all over, and you wonder why they hate your store. So
yeah, it's going to be the experience, and it starts from the beginning.
Right. So,
I mean, it just does.
So I'm going to try to help some of the salespeople, and I'm going to try to help some of the sales managers. This is something that I encourage you guys to do when you meet, not just meet individuals, but when you meet families for sure. I encourage you to go into your CRM and make sure that in your heart note, you're putting the good notes in there. So when you go into that note, it should say Chad and Nikki Christensen, and it has Connor and Hartley Christensen. Connor is 9. He plays soccer, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Hartley runs track. She does da 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 da. That way, as you grow your family time with those people, you can call and have real conversations about, hey Chad, how was wrestling for Connor? Did he have a good duel, or what's going on? Right?
Wait a minute. First of all, if I'm at home and you call me and you ask me about my kids, what? Well, what? You're going to take the time to call me and ask me about my family?
Guys, it's not magic.
What?
This is not.
You care?
This is not David Copperfield magic here. This is just paying attention, trying to be as efficient, and understanding that there's certain things that you have to do in order for that customer to want to do business with you. Man, I'm curious. I'll tell you this. I put notes in, so I knew what was going on. I knew, and I'm always using Riley because they were my customers. I knew that she played volleyball. I knew when things were going on. Her dad told me everything, first of all. So it was one of those things to where I would go in and put notes on. You know, when he would tell me they were traveling to this state for this tournament, I would put a note in there so I remembered. So when I saw them next time, I would say, hey, how was your meet? Or how was your duel?
Right.
Or how was your deal? And that's what I mean when I say you have to pay attention to everything that's happening, or they leave and they buy somewhere else.
And I'm going to tell you this too. Don't be fake about it. Be genuine.
Well, here's the thing. This I told a young lady. She brought her grandson in the other day. I went out and had a conversation with her, and she says, "Why is it so important to you that he buys his car here?" I said, "Simple. He's 21 years old. And the one thing I know is that he's going to buy a lot more cars in his lifetime. And if I take care of him and take care of you, then you guys both are going to tell everybody about me and my store, and it's important to me that I know. Now, it was also important to me that I knew what he did, when he did it, what he did for fun, and things like that, because at some level, maybe there's a connection. Maybe we support, skiing or whatever. Can you ski? I don't ski, bro.
No, man.
I just threw that out there. I don't know we're skiing because it's 40 degrees outside.
It's cold.
Yeah, it's cool. But I encourage you when you get those deals, sales managers, I encourage you to go back, get with your salespeople. Let's get a hold of those families that were in our store that we missed, and see what it was about them that we missed, how that deal. Let's start right there. I'll guarantee you there's some business waiting for you.
You know something that Danny and Denny do here all the time that when I first started, I didn't understand the why of it, but a customer will leave and they'll walk up and just, hey, Chad, what was his name? Or what was her name? Where do they work? Where do they live? What do they do?
Yeah.
And I was just like, in the beginning going, what? I get it.
Well,
I get it. And if a sales manager wants to know if a salesperson is listening to a customer and actually being genuine to a customer, go up and ask a simple question. Hey, where do they work?
Well, if it's just dollars and cents, you won't be in this industry long,
Right.
and you will not be successful.
Right.
Now, can some guys that just show up just to make money be in this industry? Yeah, but their customers aren't coming back
Right.
to them.
Right.
They're every year, every month, they're
Right.
finding new customers because no one remembers who they are.
Right.
I always say, we were talking in the last podcast about being impactful, right? Making sure that you make an impact.
Right.
This business is about relationships. All right. It's about you and I and the customer having a relationship that moves forward. If you are not building a relationship with your customer, there's no way for you to move forward.
So why do sales people make it harder on themselves for the big picture? The big picture. Why do people not see the big picture and understand that if you do it right the first time and you are genuine, that your web gets bigger and bigger and bigger as far as people,
Okay.
instead of going, and I've seen it where someone walks in and they're like, I bought a car here 3 years ago. I don't even think they work here anymore. And the dude's sitting two
That's the guy
stalls
that greeted
down
him.
from me,
That's
man.
the guy that greeted him at the door.
Yeah. And you're like, come on.
Well, here's what I'm gonna tell you. This is what happens. All right. Me and the sales managers, we're having a good conversation today. Sales manager, I want you to pay attention to this. In your dealership, you have a veteran guy that's been there a long time, and he's pretty good at what he does, and he does things extremely fast. So he gets a customer, they show up, they say hi, bye, and before you know it, they're driving the car out the door. And
Right.
your new salespeople are watching that.
Right, they see
and
it.
in the salesperson's mind, the new salesperson's mind, he has skipped every single step that you have taught the new guy.
Right.
Which isn't true. See, what has happened and what I think in the industry and in our dealerships we're missing is that veteran guy has done so much business with Chad that him and Chad are on the same page. So when he comes in, they're having a normal
Right.
conversation. He knows what Chad's looking for. He's already confirmed.
That's
He's
right.
already went through the road to the sale.
That's
It
right.
just seems so seamless and fast that it feels like he skipped all these steps. So the new salespeople see that guy's successful and he's making good money, and they're like, dude, I'm going to do it like that. I'm going to skip all these steps and say, hi, here's your car, get down, here's your keys. And, man, I'm going to be just like that guy.
Yeah.
So I would encourage you to spend time with your veteran guys saying, hey, great job that you've earned that. You got that relationship. Just know when the new guys come to you, you explain to them why your process is so fast, right? You sell a
good
customer,
idea.
you do it right. I always when Shelly – when she buys a car now, I'm serious. She may call me and say, hey, I think it's about time for me to get something new. I do everything for her at that
Right.
point.
Right.
I just verify. You want it. You want this. You want this color again, right? You want this again. Okay, let me take care of it.
Yeah.
So when she comes in, it's done.
It's done.
I've
Yeah.
already done it. So
Yeah, but
I've
you know
earned
what
that.
you've earned? That's what. Look, hey, we right here.
We nanu, right? Mork and Mindy.
Trust, baby. It's trust.
Yeah,
You've earned it.
It is. So that process seems like it's being skipped, seems like it's going faster, but it's really not. It's the same process that we've earned. It just moves a lot quicker. So I would encourage those new people to slow down and earn those relationships early and pay attention to how things are processed so fast.
Right.
When I think about other people coming to your dealership and I say, why do they leave? Let me ask you this. If you do not have a female salesperson
Okay.
on your staff, how many female consumers did you miss and why? Why do women come into our store and not purchase?
Uncomfortable, and they feel like they're getting taken advantage of.
Would you
At least that's what I've heard.
Do you think that every female that comes in has some of that in their thought process when they get to the dealership?
Yes.
So if we know as an industry,
Yes.
if we know as a dealership, if you, the sales manager, the general sales manager, if you know, right, are you training your salespeople to pay attention to the signs? Right? There's signs. When customers come in, they're coming in to accomplish something. There's signs through the process that let you know either you have their attention or you don't.
Or you don't. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Do we pay attention to the signs when a female consumer comes into our store? Because first of all, again, think of it logically. We automatically know that there's some kind of, at some level, I'm gonna get treated differently.
Discomfort,
and
of some
I'm
sort.
not gonna get treated fair. So as I said, so for me, when I was in sales, it was simple, right? I just went into, if my wife was in a store without me, how would I want them to treat her? How would I want them to treat my daughter? How would I want them to treat my mother? And that's the way I treat them. I treat them like they were my mother, or they were my, you know what I mean? It was like,
Makes sense.
You talk to your mom a different way. When she tells you to do something, you do it right now, and you pay attention.
Look
right?
out if you don't.
Right? If not, the shoes are coming, right? So just think about that, salespeople, that when you get that, there's already that
Understand the situation.
Yeah,
Understand
100%.
the person that's walking through the door. You should be able to. I'll give you a story. You're going to be like, what? Probably I don't even know if I ever
like
told
what?
you. But so there was a gentleman that came in. I did not realize because of his religion, you could not touch him, right? He sat down at my desk. He had someone with him. I reached out and I said, hey, don't worry. We've got you. Gone.
Yeah.
Got up and walked out. The gentleman with him was like, you cannot touch him. I was just trying to comfortability here. Let's get comfortable. Let's figure this out.
I don't know about this one.
Well, but I'm saying you
happens.
don't know. It happens.
That's weird, man. Who is it?
Hey, man, I don't know. He didn't come back. No,
sound
but
like-
what I'm
that
saying
sound
is
like,
you have, and this is when I was starting, right? And in our area, with the different cultures that we have here and the diversity of people, you have to understand who's walking through the door.
Well, that sounded like you had the dude from Coming to America in here. You ain't supposed to be.
I
touching
should have
him,
known by
dropping
the rose petals,
yeah.
man. He was
dropping the
yeah, I
roses
should have known.
in that deal. So, but you do. You have to pay attention, and you have to know. It's almost like you have to know that you sell everyone a car. It's the same process, but it's a different process, right? It's the same steps, but it may come off a little different. You know, the other guy that I want you to encourage you to go back and see how you either gain that guy's business or you miss that guy's business. I'm going to talk about that old retired gentleman that came in. And he probably wanted to talk a little more than everybody else wanted to talk. And he was looking for somebody to occupy his time, but he was in your store to purchase something. So I will say it again. I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it. This is 1,000,001. 100% of the people that show up in your store or call your store or email your store, they all purchase a vehicle. You are batting 100 if you're in the auto industry. The task is to figure out how to make sure that they purchase from you at your dealership at that time or sometime. Right. How do you go back and you talk about that gentleman that's retired, that older gentleman, or how are we missing those guys? Why do they leave without purchasing?
Because we're not taking the time to understand what you just said.
Time.
Yeah.
You said it right there. It's a time thing. I'm in no hurry, so you don't be in a hurry. We may talk about what happened in the news for the last week or so.
You may be with them 2.5 hours. You may be.
You know what? Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes people just like to. They really do. They want to understand things at a full, at a full clip. So you have to slow down and spend that time with people. But again, I would encourage you, salespeople. I encourage you, sales managers, to go back 30 days and find those people. And the reason why I broke it down individually is because you're going to have to handle each of those things differently.
100% differently.
But if you spin it and you look at it separately, look at that family. How did we miss them? How did we gain? Look at the women that have been in your store. How did we sell them? How did we not sell? Look at that retired gentleman. And it doesn't have to be a male. It could be female. It doesn't matter. Look at that situation. But then go back 30 days and actually reach out to them. Right. Reach out to them kind of like a survey. And the reason why I say 30 days is, how many can it be? I'm assuming you're a pretty good dealership. You sold most of them.
Yeah.
Right. So the conversation's good.
Yeah. Agreed.
I think. Right.
Agreed.
Okay. If not,
Hey,
you said that like you was.
Is it no? And here, in my mind for the only time today that it's going to be, it was working. But I was sitting there thinking, even if it was a success, right, and the person's, what can I do better? What could we do better?
Well, I tell you,
is that something too big of a hole to open to ask?
Well, here's the way I think every day. I'm either growing or I'm dying. Like everything else around me. So I try to grow every day. I tell my kids every day, learn something new every day. I don't care what it is. I don't care how big, how small. Make sure that every day you're learning something new. So in this industry, we want to make sure that we're learning something new every day. I tell you what I learned. On Wednesday, I learned that Toyota is going to redesign the Toyota Camry. The 2025 Camry is going to be all new redesign. The thing that I enjoy about Toyota and what they do is they listen to the consumer. Man, everyone else is going away from sedans, and here comes comes Toyota saying we're going to redesign the Camry, all hybrid.
100%. 100%.
All hybrid, right? And you can get all-wheel drive in any level.
That's right.
So it's like, man, are you growing or are you dying? This is an industry that seems to be growing, and Toyota's at the forefront of this thing, still looking at ways. They're coming out with a Crown. I'm going to say this right.
I know.
Signia. Right? Did I say that right?
I think you did, actually.
Crown Signia. Now, here's an industry, here's a manufacturer that's thinking to themselves, man, yeah, I know the sedan's going away, but people like this SUV. So they come out with this SUV, this 5-passenger that has 6.5 feet of cargo space with the rear seats.
It's a monster.
Dude, it's a great looking vehicle. But this is Toyota thinking forward, forward thinking, man, how can we really accommodate? It's funny when we go to training classes and I hear the region always say there will be a Toyota for everyone.
Yes.
I'm watching this thing kind of
It's crazy how far ahead we think. How far ahead. It's crazy to me. It's not.
The ability to stand too. Here's a cool thing about Toyota. This is why I'm proud of the manufacturer that I work for. Okay, and I'm probably shouldn't go here, but what the heck? I'm gonna go here anyway, right? Everybody's on this EV push. Everybody's like, you got to make a full electric vehicle. You got to do that, and it's like everybody's going to the same place except for Toyota. It's the one manufacturer that's willing to stand on its own 2 feet and say, hey, man, I understand what you're saying, and I think there is a time maybe at some point for some of this. Now is just not the time.
Right.
You know how lonely it is sometimes to stand by yourself and make a stand? Most of the time.
I don't know. I've never stood alone. I've always had people around me.
Some of the best decisions I ever made, I made by myself. Right?
It's true.
So I commend Toyota for standing and saying, hey, you know what? Yeah, we probably do at some level need to make some kind of full electric vehicles. We're just not there right now.
Right.
And I'm willing to stand up for what I believe and say, I'm not going to go where everybody else is going. And hey, let me tell you this. Now you see all these other manufacturers saying, oops.
Yeah.
We probably should have waited to do that.
Yeah. It's not happening like we said it was going to happen.
It's kind of, and they don't want to come out and say this, it's kind of what Toyota said. Right? Well, there's no infrastructure.
Yeah.
You know what the cool thing, and I always talk about Toyota when they talk about this full EV, the thing that was cool, I was in Texas. And one of the top guys was talking about this, and it was coming down the line, and you just pay attention, you're going to get questions about it. But the one thing that he said, he goes, we could go EV, but those cars are so expensive to make. Our school teachers can't afford to buy those cars. Not yet. We need to be able to make them affordable so our school teachers and our nurses and the people, police officers and firemen, they can afford these things.
Right.
And right now we can't build them so they're affordable. We can build hybrids so they're affordable. And I'm not even going to get into the, you can build nine. That's
the
a
whole
whole
numbers thing.
That's a whole nother,
it is
1 to 6 to 90 kind of deal, 1 6 90 deal. We'll get it. You know what? Here's what I'm going to tell you. After Christmas, right? Right now we're talking about turkeys.
Ooh,
right?
I like turkey. About,
eat a whole bunch of turkeys. Since we are turkey time.
Oh, no, here we go.
To everyone out there, hey, happy holidays.
Happy holidays to everyone. It's going to be awesome.
Singing. We're coming up on Turkey Day, and I only got a few more minutes, so I always want to talk about it. What's your favorite dish on Thanksgiving?
Mashed potato.
Mashed potatoes. You can eat mashed potatoes anywhere. They sell them at KFC.
No, man, I love smoked turkey. Come on, we
potato.
had this off.
Smoked
turkey is the best.
All right, hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, cranberry sauce. And if you ain't got none, don't invite me to your house. Get down with the get
beets.
Down. But hey, man, happy holidays to you. I think it's awesome. I hope everybody have a great Thanksgiving. I tell you, if you want to check out what we're doing at Thanksgiving, like today, we're having a Thanksgiving dinner. We're gonna sit down and break bread with all our employees. Hey, make sure you go to Instagram or Twitter and check out the pictures and think out some of the thank yous. What we're thankful for at Wilson of Ames. And if you're a Facebook or TikTok person, it's at Wilson Toyota of Ames. And if you really want to know what the big dog ate at the Thanksgiving dinner, get down with the get down. Roll with the big dog. At Big Strong. That's 2 G's when you're as big as I am. And at Big Strong 1 on that Insta chat. Holla at your boy.
It's a lot of turkey.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys. We can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
And, again, he is Chad Christensen.
Gobble,
I am
gobble.
Sean Smith. Midwest Mayhem. Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble.
Hey, man, you lost me by halfway through that thing. I start